Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. So in this video, I will be showing you how I designed and assembled this graduation treat card. Come on y'all, let's get started. For this project, I will be using 65-pound cardstock. I will be using a clear Babel, 3-in-1 beacon glue, and pop dot tape. I will leave a list of all of the items in the description of this video. So here in Cricut Design Space, the first thing I'm going to do is add 2 circles to the canvas. To add a circle, I am going to select Shapes on the left toolbar, and I am going to select the circle 2 times. Then I'm going to select Shapes on the toolbar again to close the panel. I'm going to change one circle to red and the other circle to blue. So selecting one of the circles, I am going to go to the top toolbar and I am going to select the swatch next to operations, and I am going to select the color red. Then I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas to close it. Then I'm going to change the color of this the color of this circle to blue. So again, on the top toolbar, I'm going to select blue, and then I'm going to select anywhere on the canvas to close it. I want to size the blue circle to 2.553 proportionately. To do this, I am going to select the blue circle, and on the top toolbar under size, I'm going to make sure that the lock proportion is locked, and then I'm going to change the width to 2.553 and hit enter. Because the lock proportion is locked, the height will change to the same height, 2.553. Next, I'm going to add my text. To add text, I am going to go to the left toolbar and I am going to select text. When the text box appears, I am going to type 2, enter, 2, enter, and 5. So selecting my font, I am going to change the font of my text. To change the font, I am making sure that my font is selected, my text is selected, and then I'm going to go to the font menu bar and I am going to select System on the top tab, and then I am going to type in the search bar Rockwell, and I am going to use Rockwell Extra Bold. Once the font is selected, then I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas to close that panel. Next, I'm going to separate the text by letter. To separate the text, I am going to select my text, and then on the font menu under Advanced, I'm going to select Ungroup to Letter. And this will make each number its own individual layer. Now that I have my text, I want to size each number so that they go with the blue circle. The blue circle is going to represent the 0 in 2025. I'm going to select the first number 2, and then on the top toolbar, I'm going to go to Size, and I am going to make sure that the lock proportion is locked, And then I'm going to change the width to 2 and hit enter. I will do the same thing for the second number 2. So selecting the second number 2 on the top toolbar, I'm going to make sure that the lock proportion is locked, and I'm going to change the size to 2. For the number 5, I am going to change this to 2.138 and hit enter. After I have the number sized, I am going to position them so that they are touching each other as well as touching the circle. After I'm satisfied with the position, I want to make sure that everything is aligned. So I am going to select the bottom 2 and the number 5. And then I am going to go to the top toolbar and I'm going to select Align, then Align Bottom. With both numbers still selected, I am going to go to the top of the Layers panel and I am going to select Group. I'm going to select the top number 2 and then I'm going to hold my Shift key down on my keyboard and I am going to select the grouped 2 and 5. Then on the top of the toolbar, I'm going to select Align and Align Left. Next, I'm going to add a graduation cap. I found this graduation cap on Google and I've already uploaded it to Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to add it to the canvas by going to Upload on the left toolbar. And then I'm going to select the graduation cap from my recent uploads. And then I'm going to select Add to Canvas on the bottom right. I'm going to size the graduation cap to 2.72 by 2.015. Then I'm going to position it on the blue circle. If you have to make any adjustments, that you can do so. So selecting the graduation cap and then going to the top toolbar, I'm going to unlock the proportion. I'm going to change the width to 2.72 and hit enter. And I'm going to change the height to 2.015 and hit enter. And then I'm just going to position it where I want it. With everything positioned where I want it, I am going to weld all of these together. To weld, I am going to select the entire design. And then on the bottom of the Layers panel, I am going to select Combine and then Weld. The next thing I'm going to do is add some offsets. This will give the design some dimension. To add an offset, I am going to select my design, and then on the top toolbar, I'm going to select Offset. I'm going to change my distance to 0.097. I want to change my corners to a sharp corner. So here under corners, I'm going to change it to sharp. And then I'm going to select Apply. So that the design can match my cardstock, I am going to change this offset to a yellowish gold looking color. So with the offset selected, and we can see that it is selected on the Layers panel, I am going to go over to Operations and I'm going to select the swatch and I'm going to change this color to a yellow. We'll just do yellow. I'm going to add another offset to the yellow layer. So with the yellow layer selected, And I'm just going to double check it here on the layers panel. I am going to go up to offset, and I am going to, the offset is going to default to the last distance that was used. And so I want the distance to be 0.097, my corners sharp, and then I'm going to select apply. So let me put this center again because it looks like it moved a little. So now that I have my graduation treat card, I want to cut a circle where the babble or the bubble is going to be. And for this bubble that I purchased, I need to cut an opening that will fit over the babble. To create this opening, I'm going to select this red circle, and on the top toolbar, I am going to make sure that the proportion is locked, and then I'm going to change the width to 2.3594 and hit enter. Once the red circle is sized, I am just going to position it on top of the blue circle, the blue layer, on top of the blue layer, and I'm just going to position it so that it's the same amount of space around all sides of the blue layer. Once positioned, I want to slice this circle from the blue layer and the yellow layer in the same location, so that when they are put back together, the circles are in the exact same place on both of the layers. To do this, I am going to select the blue layer on the layers panel. I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm going to select the red circle on the layers panel. Then I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel, and I am going to select slice. After the slice, I am going to select the blue circle on the layers panel, and I am going to hit delete on my keyboard. Next, I'm going to select the yellow layer on the layers panel. I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm going to select the red circle. Then on the bottom of the layers panel, I'm going to select slice. After the slice, I am going to delete the yellow circle on the layers panel. And then I'm going to move this red circle out of the way. Then I'm going to select the blue layer on the layers panel, and I am going to bring it to the front by going to the top menu, selecting arrange and bring to front. The circle that is cut out on the blue and yellow layer is the space where the babble is going to go. And you can see the black layer behind the yellow and blue layer. Now I want to create an opening so that I can put the candy into the babble. To do this, I am going to size the red circle to 1.5 width proportionately. So selecting the red circle, and on the top toolbar, making sure that the lock proportion is locked, and then I'm going to change the width to 1.5 and hit enter. Then I'm going to position the red circle inside of the opening of the blue and yellow layer, and again making sure that the space around is the same amount all the way around on all sides. On the layers panel, I am going to select the black layer, and holding my shift key, I'm going to select the red circle, and then on the bottom of the layers panel, I am going to select slice. After the slice, I am going to delete the black circle on the layers panel, and then I'm going to move the red circle. I'm going to select the black layer on the layers panel, and I'm going to move that to the back by going to the top toolbar, selecting arrange and send to back. Now that I have an opening for my candy, I need to create a closure for this opening. So to create the closure, I am going to select the black layer on the layers panel, and then on the top of the layers panel, I'm going to select duplicate, and it is the second icon. And so that you can see what I am going to be doing, I am going to change this color to green. So I'm going to move it down here. And on the top toolbar, selecting the color green and clicking anywhere on the canvas. I am going to select shapes on the left toolbar, and I'm going to select this square with the round edges, and then I'm going to select a pennant, and then I'm going to select a line, and then I'm going to select shapes to close the panel. I'm going to select the square, and I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to size it to 1.95 proportionately. So on the top toolbar, the proportion is locked, and I'm going to change the size to 1.95 and hit enter. And then I'm going to position it over the circle, over the opening on the green layer to cover it. I'm going to select the pennant, and I am going to size this so that it creates a tab on the circle, not the circle, on the square. So I'm just going to position it here so that it creates a tab. You want to make sure that when you're positioning your tab, that you're not positioning it so that it hangs off of the green layer. I'm going to select the square, and then I'm going to hold my shift key, and I'm going to select the pennant. On the bottom of the layers panel, I'm going to select combine and then weld. And so that you can see what I'm doing for my next steps, I'm just going to change this to a different color. I am going to select the line, and I want to change this to a basic cut because the line currently is a score line. So on the top toolbar under operation, I'm going to change score to basic cut. Then I'm going to position the line on the green layer, and I'm just going to position it right in front of, or right at the bottom of the tab. And then I'm just going to change the size so that it is wider than the square, but not too much wider than the square. This will be the opening to insert the tab in so that I can close the opening where I am going to be putting the candy. I'm going to move the orange layer, and I am going to change this to black because I want it to cut on black cardstock. And then move this over just a little bit because I don't want it too close to the circles where it compromises the cut. And then I'm going to select the green layer and the line. And on the bottom of the layers panel, I'm going to select attach. For this project, this layer will be cut with the same cardstock as the black layer. So with everything cut, I am going to get ready to make it. And I am just going to select make it on the top right. I'm just going to select make it on the top right. On this screen, there are 4 color coordinated mats. I will be using 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So I am going to change my material size to 8.5 by 11. Once I've changed my material size, I am going to select continue on the bottom right. Here on the material screen, I am going to select medium cardstock 80 pounds because I will be using 65-pound cardstock. I am going to get all of this cut and I'll be back to show how I assemble it. So with everything cut, here is how I am going to assemble this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to insert the tab into the opening. So I want to insert this tab into the opening, and I am going to position it over the opening so that the tab is on the back of the black cardstock, the black layer. So like this, you just want to, again, from the back, insert the tab into the little opening here, and it's going to cover the hole. Then I am going to apply glue to the layer, but I'm not going to put any glue near the tab because I don't want the tab to be glued. I want it to be able to move freely. And so I'm just going to put glue around the other parts of this layer. Then I'm going to take the second black layer and I am going to lay it onto the layer with the tab, and I'm just going to position them or glue them together so that they are glued together, creating one layer. So with both of the black layers glued together, you can see that you can slide the tab in and out so that you can put the candy through the back layer. I am going to glue the yellow layer to the black layer, again positioning it so that the offset is even around the entire design. I am going to apply a small amount of glue around the rim of the babble. And then I'm going to place the babble on the treat card like so. And lastly, I am going to glue the blue layer onto the other layers like this. And again, you want to make sure you position it so that the offsets are evenly around the design. Okay, y'all. Here is the finished product. And I am going to put some candy inside. Like that. Okay. Now, what do you guys think? It is so cute and adorable. This makes a great party favor. All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you were able to follow along with my process. If you liked this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.